Alright, so to anyone who might be watching this video, I wanted to share with you guys some really important information about the numbers behind a very awesome way to make money in Grand Cross Global. Now, the strategy itself is not really that big of a secret, but what is a secret is how profitable it actually is. I'm going to break it down step by step, give you the details, and as you watch this video, you'll be able to understand why this is actually a lot better than you might have thought it was. So what I am talking about, of course, is farming ingredients for food. Now, it doesn't have to be a particular type of food. Of course, I recommend that you have a good stock of gold food just because you can end up using this in a lot of missions that you're farming anyway to get additional gold. But any type of ingredients in any type of food will actually do the trick. And it sells for quite a bit. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'm going to break it down, tell you guys all the reasons why this is really good, and the numbers will really start to add up, and you guys will come to this realization of, wow, this is actually really good and a great way to make money. Okay, so first of all, one reason why it's good is because you do not have to do the more difficult versions of the quest. In fact, I would highly recommend that you stick to the easiest one. Now, during a half stamina event, you're looking at 2 stamina per run, which is great. But even without a half stamina event running, it's 4 stamina a run, which is really not a whole lot. That's one reason. Now, another is you do not need a crazy complex team with a bunch of combat class in order to do this. In fact, I would highly recommend that you do the opposite. You stick to one character, specifically somebody who has AoE abilities, to be able to clear this the fastest. They don't need to be decked out in really good gear. They don't need to have a super high combat class. I just want to show you guys my level 60 Hauser here. Let's just do a run through. You guys will see how fast this actually is. So, 2 stamina, here we go. This is the easiest version of this quest for ingredients, and each run takes maybe a minute at the most, something in that general range, depending on exactly how good your farmer is. But the point is, you're fighting really easy enemies. You want area of effect attacks, so you kill everything at once, and you really just want to minimize the amount of time that enemies have to spend in their actual combat animations. So you see there, one-shot everything. We're going to get another opportunity to attack here. This guy's going to get one shot. Great, because we don't have to worry about the enemy animations. And of course, we've got the boss wave here. And hopefully, once again, should not have to worry about the enemy animations, especially with the ultimate, which of course, make sure you have the animations for the ultimate off so that it's quick, just like it is right there. And we are done. That is the quest complete, much faster than farming for books or farming boss stages for chalices. Super quick, super easy. Okay, so the amount of ingredients that you get is going to vary, of course. You can get 1, you can get 2, you can get 3. I don't know about 4. You're probably going to average about 2 or so ingredients per run, as well as the 480 gold. For 2 stamina, by the way, and again, keep in mind that this run takes less than a minute or so. Now, the ingredients themselves are very important because until you understand how cooking works and how much money you can actually make from the ingredients, you're not going to think that this is really that important. Okay, so now once you end up completing stage 6, you can actually go and sell the ingredients directly. I would not recommend doing this though, because you're only going to get 250 gold each. Now, if you sell the fully cooked food, you're going to get 1,000 gold each. However, very importantly, when you go and you cook food, it's important to keep in mind that it takes 3 ingredients to make, at the very minimum, 3 meals. That's the minimum. So, just as an example here, if I cook something up, let's do this, this, and this. Minimum, we're going to get 3. We could get us super success, which would give us 4 meals, and then ultra success, which would give us 5. So anywhere between 3 and 5 for a total of 3 ingredients. So you are getting more than 1 full meal per ingredient that you use. So the ingredients only sell for 250 gold, but the full meals themselves sell for 1,000 gold. So look right there, we got 5 full meals for using 3 ingredients. So if I decided to sell those to the vendor, you are looking at 5,000 gold, right? So if we go to the puddings that I got, we just got 5 of them. That's 5,008 gold. Now, it's not over yet because you can actually get even more than this. So if you apply the Veronica buff, which you guys should be doing not only for selling food, but you should be doing this for selling pretty much anything that you can to a shop in town, you're going to get an additional 20% gold. So make sure that you guys take advantage of this when you are selling all of your other stuff. All right, so you just click invite. You do her little quest. She asks for something very simple. That's going to give you your 20% buff. And now you can go and get, instead of 1,000 gold for each meal that you would sell, now you're going to be getting, it's going to be 1,200 gold each. So each ingredient that you actually spend the time to farm for is not worth 250 gold, but if you take just a couple of seconds to cook it into a full meal, and it does not even matter what meal you make, they all sell for the exact same price, 1,000 or 1,200 gold with the buff to the vendor. Now each ingredient is going to give you over 1,000 gold in value each, minimum of 1,200 all the way up to, you know, you're looking at about 16, 17, 1,800 if you can get a super success or an ultra success. So just for the purposes of this video, let's just go with the smaller number and say that each ingredient is going to get you at the minimum of 1,200 gold each. Now, if you're worried about time as well, and the amount of time that it takes to cook stuff, you don't have to worry about that either, because you can cook multiple things at once without having to worry about that. So you can see right here, 1 serving, you can go all the way up. This does not really involve time. The only RNG is if you get a super success or an ultra success, and if you're worried about it, just don't cook all of your stuff at once. Cook them in slightly smaller batches so you can kind of average out your RNG and get roughly the same number of meals each and every time. So if you go and you end up farming these ingredient quests, you are looking at an average value of about 1,200, 1,800 gold per ingredient. We just said 1,200 to stick with the lower number. You're going to end up averaging out about 2 ingredients per run on easy difficulty, plus that 500 gold. That's 2,400 plus the 480. You're looking at almost 3,000 gold worth of sellable stuff for each run that you do through farming ingredients. 2 stamina during the half AP event. Very easy, very quick. You don't need a very well geared team, and it takes less than a minute. Great way to rack up a lot of gold. It really does compete with the half stamina book farming method if you just break down the math and the numbers. Now, if you're wondering which ones that I personally like to farm, this is one of them right here. Dalmuli Plains, because it does drop the ingredients for your gold food. The other one that I like to farm is Broken Ruins, because it also drops ingredients that you need for gold food. I believe the milk and the eggs are some of the ingredients. Plus you have the other kind of milk and that blue stuff right there. Those are the ingredients that you need for the gold food. Now again, the actual type of food that you end up selling is not very important. They all vendor for 1,000 gold or 1,200 with the Veronica buff each. However, I still recommend that you guys have a high stock of gold food, because any opportunity where you're already farming content anyway, like for boss stages, when you're farming chalices, whenever you can use a gold food and get more than 1,200 gold as a bonus for using this food, you should be using that gold food, because you're going to get 1,200 from the vendor. So if you can get more than that, use it. Definitely one of the best foods to stock up for. But, you know, like I said, the actual area that you farm your ingredients really does not matter. You want to stick with the easiest difficulty, though, because not only is that going to make it a lot easier to just go in with a single farmer and clear it out in a matter of a few seconds like I just did earlier in the video, but if you take a look at the actual drops from the more difficult versions, it doesn't add up and it's really not worth it. So going back to the easier one, you'll see here 100% chance to drop these ingredients every time you get a bronze box. Now, 2 stamina with the half AP event. Now, for 1 extra stamina, which is 50% more, you're looking at very similar drops. But you now have a 10% chance to get silver boxes, which give you 2 ingredients each. Just doesn't really add up. 10% is not too likely, and it's only 2 ingredients. You know, for the 50% increase in stamina, yeah, you get a little bit of extra gold, but it also makes it a bit more difficult and a bit slower to farm. It just honestly isn't worth it. And then the hard version, same thing, 2% chance, 20%, the numbers, the math, it just doesn't really add up. Stick with the easier version. You're going to be making the most gold per hour and the most gold per stamina. So this is a great method to make money. Absolutely worth doing whenever we have half AP for free quests. So, you know, I wanted to put this out there, and I know those of you guys who are a bit more advanced might be a little bit tired of how crazy in detail I was explaining in this video, but I really wanted to break that down, especially to people who might not understand why this is actually a lot better than you might think it is. So if you do the numbers, now you guys know, especially if you listen to the video, this is definitely a great strategy. So that's going to end up being it for the video today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys are able to use this information and advice to help you make more money in Grand Cross Global. So with that all being said, if you guys did enjoy the video and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to help out, leaving a like means a whole bunch as well, so thank you to all of you guys to do that. And more videos should be popping up on the screen. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.